health from the inside and out. I'm Dr. Taz. I'm the host of the medical segment.
I'm Jazz, host of the fitness segment.
And I'm Chef Jay, host of the nutrition segment.
We are excited to be here today. As some of you already know, we are right in the middle of our 2014-2015 flu season. And if you've been one of the lucky ones to not get the flu yet, I know you're probably just as confused as everybody else we meet about what to do about the flu. Do you get a vaccine? Do you not get a vaccine at this point? What do we do? So, the flu season creeps up on us every year, and there's this huge rush to drive in and get that flu vaccine. But this year's flu vaccine, we found out, might not be that helpful. Jazz, tell me what you're thinking.
I'm thinking I've never had a flu vaccine shot in my entire life.
Never.
I'm thinking I've never had the flu.
Never had a flu
Never
vaccine.
had one. If I had one, it was when I was little.
Do you know what the CDC would say about you?
What would they
You
say?
are a liability.
I'm just saying, if I had a flu shot, it was when I can't remember when I was a kid, but ever since I can make my own choices, I chose not to get a flu shot.
And you've never had the flu.
I've never had the flu.
All right, what do you think?
I've only had the flu shot once.
Another one.
As
CDC,
an
you guys
adult.
are failing.
I got the flu after. I was one of those people that got the flu after getting the flu shot back in college, and I was like, no, I'm not doing it. And I have contracted the flu since then, but it's been rough.
Well, and I have patients coming to me all the time asking these same questions, and they'll tell me the exact same things. I've never gotten the flu. When I take the flu shot, I get the flu virus. And here are the facts, just to help sort the facts out a little bit, because we don't want to, we don't want to advocate not getting your flu shot. But what typically happens is that the year before, they try to decide the strain of the flu that's most likely to be present in the upcoming flu season. So it's a little bit of guesswork there. There are about 2 or 3 strains of flu that are very common, so they pick one and they roll with it. Now, the flu vaccine does offer some protection, especially for somebody, that might have a respiratory disease, is already immune compromised, like you have, an elderly person who's really sick. It's really dangerous for them to get the flu. It's also very dangerous for children to get the flu. So the flu vaccine was to offer some sort of protection for everybody, so we could also protect the sickest people in our society. So that was the point of the flu vaccine. Now, as we know, this year's flu vaccine hasn't been super effective. I don't know that we want to stand and say you don't have to get your flu vaccine, but I do think it's important to maybe find out other ways to protect your immune system and to really think about beefing up your immune system when everybody else around you is sick. So you said you've never gotten the flu. You've been through every flu season. Tell us what you do.
I take vitamins every day. I take multivitamins. I take a lot of zinc as well. I think that boosts your immune system. I hope I'm right about that.
Is there a specific, again, vitamins are a big gray area for a lot of people.
So,
is there a specific vitamin that you take and I take this and I know my immune system stays fine?
Between working out also helps your immune system as well, and then I take a multivitamin, sport multivitamin, and then maybe vitamin B, fish oil, and zinc.
Okay,
Those are the main
fantastic.
ones
So
I
B, fish oil, and zinc. That's Jazz's recipe for preventing the flu.
Okay.
And working out, of course.
I'm
Not that you
patenting
cannot
that.
tell. So, Chef Jay, tell us, what's your secret? You said you've not gotten the flu. You've gotten it one time.
Yes.
So what's your secret to sort of staying healthy and well during flu season?
So I load up on the vitamin C.
Okay.
And I take vitamin C pills, and I also love oranges and cuties. And right now, cuties are in season. So I just load up on the oranges and cuties, and also tangerines in my home.
Okay.
Just keep those on a stockpile. Eat a
We're
couple.
talking cuties like the oranges.
The little oranges, not ladies,
Okay,
but
sure.
the oranges.
Just checking to make sure you didn't have some secret that the rest of us
That's a secret. I didn't know that secret.
He's talking about the cuties, folks. The oranges.
Yes,
Okay,
the oranges. And they're really expensive now, so you get like a whole box for like maybe $1.50. And I just load up on those and eat about 2 or 3 a day. I'm good.
And so no supplements, mainly
No supplements.
natural food source of vitamin C.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Good. That's really
Well,
good.
you're a chef. Do you have any specific recipes that you recommend to people during flu season, or things that you say, hey, these are some remedies that we know are going to help you stay well this season?
Well, I always say eat a hearty soup. It can be Italian wedding soup, it can be a Hungarian soup, but eat a soup that's filled with protein and also vegetables that are packed with loads of vitamins and nutrients. Because in that sense, you're getting still some of the vitamins and nutrients that you need from the soup, as opposed to just having a meal and then you're getting a steak and maybe a green and maybe some rice, which really don't pack in a bunch of flavor. In one
Soup
little
has
soup.
everything in it.
Right.
Well, fantastic. Hold that thought for just a second. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, recipes for healing during flu season. So join us after a quick break. Welcome back to to Old Fashioned Health, where we're talking about the flu and the 2014-2015 flu season. So just a few minutes ago, both Chef Jay and Jazz both told me that they don't really get the flu vaccine and they manage to stay healthy. So we're trying to learn their secrets and figure out ways that all of us can stay healthy during flu season. So Chef Jay was just talking about vitamin C and oranges. Any other recipes you have for us or little home remedies? You talked about soups. What's your favorite soup during flu season?
My favorite soup during flu season is chicken noodle soup. I think that's probably everyone's.
Yep.
And honestly, I love to just have like a good tomato soup with roasted corn and a wonderful grilled cheese.
Well, as the medical person here, let me talk about chicken noodle soup, because chicken noodle soup is actually on my list of ways to beat the flu, and there's a reason why. We know that chicken soup made especially on the bone, all that great bone marrow and stuff like that, that leaches out vitamins, minerals, iron, and it also leaches out a chemical called N-acetylcysteine, which helps open up your lungs, breaks up mucus, break up congestion. So chicken noodle soup, even though our moms made it for generations, is a flu remedy. So that's one of my personal favorites, and we'll probably have to try your recipe at some point.
That's
For chicken noodle soup.
Really good.
So-
Homemade chicken stock.
with homemade, exactly. And do you also believe it has to be the meat on the bone? That comes from older systems of medicine, where they really believe that those soups need to be for meat on a bone, not just not just the meat itself, because the bone is really the key healing property to that.
Yep.
I have a couple of other that I've recommended in terms of just trying to keep yourself healthy during flu season. So astragalus is one that we've talked about frequently. It boosts the immune system. It's a Chinese herb. We've talked about it here as well, and it's something I swear by in flu season. So I take it every day. I make my children take it every day, and the minute anybody looks sick, we'll up it to 3 times a day. So that's a big one for me.
So where can I get astragalus?
Astragalus is now becoming more popular. It's in a lot of the grocery stores.
Thanks,
It's in a
Dr.
lot of the
Jazz.
health food stores. In fact, the last time I talked about it, I think some of the local stores actually sold out. But anyhow, it is more available.
Okay.
Health food stores, grocery stores, that type of thing. So that's one that I swear by. So we've got vitamin C from Chef Jay in the form of cuties or oranges. We have the B vitamins and the multivitamins and working out consistently. And then to that, I would add chicken soup and maybe the astragalus. So hopefully that gives you a great toolbox for beating the flu this season. But we still have 2 groups that everyone struggles with. So our kids and our grandparents or our elderly population. How do we keep them healthy this flu season? Now, again, as a medical doctor, I have some opinions there, but I want to throw it to you first.
I think you pointed out earlier, they're the most susceptible to flus and any kind of colds. So, watching what they eat, checking up on the elderly, of course, making sure they have a good diet. I would, if they can, work out, stay active as well, especially the elderly, even kids, to stay active. And if, a kid, has a flu or a cold in their school, make sure they go to school, with good vitamin C, maybe hand sanitizers as well, because they can pass it around in schools rapidly.
Schools are like little Peachtree dishes, guys. You guys know this. They all get together and they just share the love amongst themselves. So schools, daycares, I think they're really tricky. For those young kids, especially those young kids with maybe respiratory issues, I still think they need a flu vaccine. I do. You can't really give the vaccine until they're 6 months of age, but if you have a child that has chronic asthma, chronic allergies, because they're in this environment that you can't control once they leave your house, then sometimes it's a good idea to think about a flu vaccine for them, but still do all these other great preventive strategies. What about the elderly? What do you think? How can we protect our elderly?
For the elderly, I would suggest the same thing we suggest for kids, because kids and elderly tend to have the same type of immune system. They're very weak. So I would suggest get the flu vaccine and also have a load of your vitamin C.
I agree. I think those populations are probably our most vulnerable populations, in the sense that when they get the flu, they can't sometimes get back up and knock right through it. They really do struggle a little bit. So watch out for those guys. For the rest of you, steal our tips. We had a lot of tips today that we talked about to beat the flu in flu season. No matter where you stand with the flu vaccine, hopefully you found something here that will work for you.
No, Dr. Taz, do
Yes.
you work out when you're sick?
No,
You don't, do you?
I don't.
I don't.
You don't
I
at
just
all?
hydrate.
No.
You just hydrate. So I'm going to give you 3 tips for 3 different things. If you have a regular cold or runny nose, it's good to work out, but quarantine yourself. Don't go to the gym, work out at home, and bring the level of intensity down a little bit, right? That's if you have a regular runny nose. Now, if you have a stomach bug, vomiting or diarrhea, you're losing fluid, right? So if you work out, you're going to lose more fluid.
Right.
So you run the risk of a rapid heartbeat, and we don't want that. So if you can stomach it, no pun intended, to stay home, to stay home and stretch. That's all you do. Now to the flu, you have the flu, don't work out.
Yeah.
Do not do anything, because think about it. When you have a virus or some kind of pain in your body, your pain is your body's using energy to fight that.
Correct.
You work out, now your energy is being split. It's going to take you a long time to get over that flu. So if you have the flu, stay in there.
Don't work out. And
Yeah.
I would add to that, as a doctor who studied other systems of medicine, old systems of medicine, Ayurveda, Chinese medicine,
Yeah.
those guys, they really believed in energy and looking at a person's energy before you decided on physical labor, working out, farming. Those were farming cultures back then. So they really thought that when your energy was down and you were depleted, you toned it down. That was not the time to go and do your massive workout. You would stretch, you would maybe get some fresh air, but you would not do like a big workout in those times that you were depleted.
Yep.
So, well, thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate it. Hopefully we have kept you healthy during the 2014-2015 flu season. Thanks for watching Old Fashioned Health, good health from the inside and out. We will